Introduce Bob Hahn, and I have a couple of thoughts on that, but one of them in particular is that, firstly, that I think to the extent that it's not an oxymoron, I think the phrase quietly charismatic is a good description of Dan, and if there is such a thing as quietly charismatic, then Bob actually trumps him in that regard, because not only has he done great things and has a charisma about him, but he seems to do great things and then step back so quickly that he needs to be reintroduced to all the people who should know him very well. So I'd like to bring Dan back up here with Bob and introduce both of them to you, and also ask you to watch very carefully now, because in the world of giving awards, the two of them are about to perform a feat that's been done almost never before. I'm told it's a 9.3 in the Olympic scoring system. So if Dan and Bob would come up, and I'm going to let them see if they can do this for you right now.
Well, actually, Max, at every community prep graduation, students get up and speak about each other as they're about to get their diplomas. And this is what that is about of that. So, I'm not sure we'll be able to do it as well as they can, but Bob got about 10 minutes morning, so he should be okay. When we met each other, the first day of Brown University, we were college roommates. I came all the way to Brown from Warwick, Rhode Island. It was a 25-minute to 30-minute drive. Believe it or not, I had never been on the Brown University campus, even though I had been accepted there. My dad dropped me off with a trunk, said, "Good luck." I said, "Okay, thank you." And I walked into the dorm and started unpacking. Then comes Bob and his father from Long Island. And they're talking a mile a minute. His dad is helping him set up the room. And they're just going crazy. And I'm like, wow. Then Bob says, "You're from around here. Where do they have good bagels and lox?"
Yeah, right.
My answer was, "What's a bagel and lox?" His response was, "You are a dick, aren't you?" And that began a beautiful, wonderful friendship. Bob's heart is really, really open and caring. I think he graduated from Brown getting his master's, while the rest of us were getting our bachelor's, and went on to Carnegie Mellon University, was on the Council of was staff of the Council of Economic Advisors to the president, and is a leading economist. And at the time that my oldest child was being born, we kind of shook hands and said, we decided we wanted to start a school together. He'd make financial sense of it, if I could make educational sense of it. That's been our partnership since. So here is Bob Hahn.
I'm not going to be as good as the students because I don't have my remarks written, but I do want to say a couple of things. Dan said I should keep my remarks short, and he also intimated that I shouldn't tell any tales from college, which he already violated that norm. I was talking with a friend of mine last night who happens to be an economist and happens to go to the school, Tom Hazlett, and he was saying, you know, we try to do a lot of things in academia, but frequently when we're teaching at the college level, like you're at college now, Elizabeth, when you're teaching at the college level, it's not completely clear how you connect with students. But one thing that was really clear to me when we started to undertake this endeavor, about which we knew very little, I might say we were really ignorant, was that Dan was a fantastic teacher. There's no question about it. He imparts love, he imparts knowledge, he knows how to connect with students. In fact, I will tell you one story about when I was in community prep, and he tried to teach me a little humility. I don't know if you remember this, but I got to teach one class in biology where we had one microscope at the time. Andy would probably remember those good old days when we had one microscope. And he said, Bob, why don't you take the class because we have an absent teacher today? And I realized in that process how skilled and loving and knowledgeable he was, and how difficult it is to teach elementary school. But the thing that has struck me over the years about Dan is not that he's a great teacher, because I knew that when I was in college and through the experiences he had, but how he became a great leader. It wasn't clear to me when we were 17 or 18 that this guy who was there and didn't know what a bagel was going to be able to reach out to, oodles of people, an audience of a couple hundred folks, and manage a very complicated and beautiful organization like Community Prep, and bring everyone together and allow me to take credit for something which I really don't deserve to take credit for. And this is the man here who made it happen, so would you please join me